Hi everyone, welcome to Pal to Tech. Today we're going to be talking about external video monitors in general, as well as I'm going to do a review of the ANDYCINE X7 monitor. ANDYCINE was kind enough to send out their 7-inch X7 monitor to test out and review. But just like always, this review is completely unbiased. I am not being paid by ANDYCINE to do this review. One of the questions I get asked on this channel is, why would you need to have an external monitor in the first place? I mean, the LCD screen on the back of the Fujifilm camera is pretty good. And add that to the fact that there is a live histogram that you can use on the X-T3. So it seems to me that having an external monitor would be just yet another piece of gear to have to lug around. I happen to own a number of external monitors, both in the 5-inch and 7-inch screen sizes. And between the two sizes, I far prefer having a 7-inch monitor than a 5-inch monitor, particularly when it comes to checking focus. Now, there are two kinds of monitors that exist out there. Monitors like this ANDYCINE that show you a more enhanced view of what you see on your camera screen, and then monitors like the Atomos Ninja 5 that also record into the monitor internally on a hard drive. Then you can take that footage and further process it in post-production. External monitors that allow you to record are significantly more expensive, and they're not for everyone, particularly if you don't shoot video that often. But I would argue that even an external monitor that doesn't shoot video, such as this ANDYCINE X7, is a very valuable tool to have in your photography toolkit. It is a whole different ballgame when being able to see and preview your shot on a screen of this size before you press the shutter release button. Having these advanced visual tools to be able to check focus, check your exposure, quickly see your histogram, and use the false color checking tool, which is a great way to see what color is and at what exposure level, and of course flipping the monitor around and using it as a selfie flippy screen. Although that may not be as big of a deal now that the X-T4 is coming out. External monitors range in price anywhere from a few $100s into the thousands. The ANDYCINE X7 is under $300, which puts it in the budget monitor category. Now, for those of you that don't know what a nit is simply a measurement of luminance. Each nit is equal to 1 candela per square meter. Now, a candela is a standard unit of measurement of luminous intensity. What all this gobbledygook means is that the higher number of nits, the brighter the monitor is going to be, and also the easier it's going to see as you hold it in different angles. So you want that number to be as high as possible. To give you a better idea of nit values, your own smartphone or tablet is about 200 to 1000 nits. The latest MacBook Pro laptop is 500 nits. However, the ANDYCINE X7 is 2200 nits. This thing is as bright as, okay? Have a look at what it looks like outside stacked up against some common external monitors, and there's no question about it. This one is definitely the monitor you want to use if you're shooting outdoors in bright sunlight. But regardless of what brand or type of monitor you get, I strongly recommend that it have at least 1000 nits. I wouldn't get anything less than that because it would just be too dim for professional use. The only issue is the more bright the monitor is, the higher the nit count, the more of a battery drain it's going to be. I found that when using the large Sony F960 battery with this monitor, I get approximately 3 hours of battery life. The ANDYCINE X7 gives you a lot of features for the price. It has an F970 battery plate for Sony batteries built right into the back of it. It comes with a headphone jack and an ability to send HDMI signal out of this monitor and into another source as a second monitor or perhaps a recording device. It has a USB port on the side, making firmware upgrades fairly easy, and mounting screws on both sides and on the bottom of the monitor. I kind of wish they had put one on the top of the monitor. Oh well, It comes with an HDMI cable, a D-tap to DC cable, and a DC charging cable. Once you connect it to your camera, you can output up to 4K 30 frames per second HDMI signals straight to this monitor. But that is the top end of the video signal it will accept. If you try and send it 60 frames per second 4K, you will get an error message, courtesy of Fujifilm, that it will not work. This monitor does use the Rec. 709 HD color standard, and it is calibrated at the factory. Across the top of the monitor, you have these programmable function buttons right here that are really awesome. I have one set for histogram, one for false colors, and one for focus assist. And I've got to tell you, the focus assist feature on this thing is the reason alone why I love external monitors. Yes, you can get away with using the LCD screen on the back of the Fujifilm camera, but being able to really check your focus, particularly when you're shooting video and rack pulling focus, is amazing. And monitors that offer this make video shooting so much easier. Keep in mind though that you can't set focus with an external monitor. In other words, you can't tap the screen to set your focus point. That still has to be done on the LCD screen on the back of the touch screen on the Fujifilm camera. And no monitor can do that currently. Now, I did have a couple of issues with this monitor I want to talk about. The first is the goofy way that it turns itself on whenever you insert a battery into it without doing anything else. Watch this. Put the battery in. That's it. I'm not doing anything else at all. Just sitting here, and look, there. Just turned itself right on. That's just weird behavior. I mean, imagine if your car did this. You've got the hood open on your car, you connect your battery, you put the thing on, you connect it, and the car, the engine just starts up. That's just crazy to me. Why would a device turn itself on when you put a battery into it, when you connect the battery into it, when that device also has an on-off switch? So that was a little weird. The second issue I have, and it's a minor one, is that when the battery is connected to the monitor and the monitor is off, so watch this, monitor is off, you still have a power light going, right? I mean, I just turned the monitor off, but I still see the light. The light tells me it's on, not off. It's confusing. And why have that tiny little bit of battery drain, although it's probably minuscule? But again, I see this in a lot of devices and I don't understand the rationale for it. If you have an on and off switch, on means on, and off means off, but maybe I'm being too nitpicky here. I did notice that while using the monitor, it got very, very warm to the touch. I'd say even hot to the touch. Now, while that's to be expected because of its metal construction, which I love, by the way, this is a metal aluminum constructed monitor. It's not a cheapo plastic thing at all. It is solid. That is one of the things I love about this monitor. It's metal, but it does get very, very warm, borderlining on hot, okay? And it is something to consider if you're out shooting on a hot day where it's gonna get even hotter. The Atomos Ninja 5 also gets very hot, so, I was used to that anyway. And for what it's worth, I did shoot on a very hot day. I had this thing cranked up to full brightness. It never shut down. It didn't cause any technical problems. So really the heat issue is more of an annoyance than anything else. I also wish this had a touch screen. Now I know that the reason that it doesn't is obviously because of the price range. I get that. But I don't like going into this menu system. I don't like, and that's just me, I don't like where you're using a button-based system to try and drill down in a menu and figure something out. I mean, when I stay at hotels, if the digital clock in my hotel room is off, I'll leave it off. I won't even try to go in and try and figure that out. It's too frustrating for me, right? So if it says like it's, 6:42 p.m. and it's really 8 o'clock p.m., it's easier for me to just remember the time difference between the reality and what the clock says by the side of the bed than it is for me to fart around with all the settings on the thing. So, do I like the menu system in here? It's okay. And listen, I was able to figure it out fairly easily. So if I can figure it out, trust me, you can figure it out. One good thing is that you do have 3 programmable buttons. So that is great. And you know what? You will use those 3 buttons 90% of the time of what you're using this monitor for anyway. So 3 is a perfect amount that they put on here. My only other issue with this monitor is that it doesn't support 4K at 60 frames per second. But that's not actually a deal breaker for me when you factor in the under $300 budget price range of this monitor. I think that this monitor is a solid buy for anyone looking for a 7-inch monitor under $300 that can provide the kind of external visual tools to make shooting still photography and videography a lot more useful. That will do it for today. If you found this video helpful, please don't hesitate to give it the like and subscribe, and I will see you very soon in another video. Take care. The ANDYCINE A7, that was the X7. X7, not A7, X7, X7, X comes later. X, like extra difficult to finish this video today. Let's try it again. I would recommend this I would recommend the ANDYCINE X7. Did I get it right? Yes, okay. Now I gotta do it again.